Today I am finally doing something that I've been promising that I would do for a little while now, and I won't say I've been avoiding it. Actually, I will say I've been avoiding it. Hey everyone, it's Jordan Faith. Here on my channel, I do all sorts of wavy hair content, so if that's something you're interested in, make sure you click on the subscribe button now. Today I'll be styling my hair with the handle of the Denman brush. This method is supposed to give you really nice, smooth, ribbony spiral clumps, basically by brushing through sections of your hair upside down with the brush and twisting it so the hair wraps around the handle. This will be my first time ever trying it, and I am no expert at brush styling. If you've been here before, you know that I am not good at brush styling, and I'm not a fan of doing it. But I promised I would try this, and I really do want to try this. I just feel like I am not going to be very good at the process, and I don't think I'm going to love the results. But we'll have to wait until the end to find out. Let's get started. All right, my hair is clean and wet. I washed with the Umberto Giannini Curl Jelly Shampoo and Conditioner. I really like these for more gentle, frequent use, and I most of the time film myself in the shower, but I didn't for a couple reasons today. The main reasons being I am very behind on laundry, and I didn't want to make more by wearing a swimsuit in the shower. I also just didn't feel like wearing a swimsuit in the shower, and I didn't want to have to bother with trying to make sure I crop the shot in enough so you don't see any naked body. So this is mostly just going to be the styling today. I'm not going to do the entire thing like this. I'll probably voice over most of it because my kids are having nap time / quiet playtime. So there's white noise and a little bit of talking and playing going on right in the next rooms over. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this started. I'm not very good at brush styling, so I'm a little bit nervous. But here we go. First, I'm just going to use my regular hairbrush, the Perfect Hair Care brush, to brush through my wet, clean hair to make sure that it doesn't have any snags or tangles. Then I'm going to section off the top section of my hair so I can work on the bottom section, and I just have the top clipped up. I'm using my misting bottle to re-wet my hair just to make sure it is completely wet. And then I'm using the AG Curl Fresh Definer. I don't use a styling cream very often, but today I'm choosing this one because it's very lightweight and it has decent hold, and I wanted to be able to use a hold product before styling with my brush so that the spirals would hold a little bit better as I styled with the brush before I could scrunch some gel into them. And I didn't want to brush gel through my hair, so I decided this would be the best choice. I'm going to take rough and small sections, not worrying about special clean parting, because if I do clean parts, my hair stays in those clean parts and it looks really funky at the end. For each section, I'm going to brush through a few times with the brush just to make sure, again, that there's no twists or tangles. And then I am going to flip the brush upside down and brush through just enough so that the brush is clinging to the ends of the hairs so that the hairs stay in place. And then twist all the hair around the handle of the brush. It was really challenging for me to not pull the brush too far out of my hair. I did that several times by accident, so when the bristles can't hold on to the ends of the hair, all of the hair just unravels from the handle of the brush. If you struggle with this brush and this styling method, you are not the only one. This took me 30 minutes total, and I did mess up on every section at least one time. I know I'm not doing very good, but I am trying my best. I left in a few of my mistakes, and there are some mistakes that I just couldn't take out, otherwise I would have no video left. But I didn't want the video to be too long showing me doing each section multiple times, because I was just figuring this out as I went. For at least the first half of my styling, I was trying to get the hair to unravel nicely off of the handle, but I just couldn't figure it out for some reason. So I ended up pulling the handle just straight out, which doesn't work that well because it is wider at the base of the handle than it is on the part that I was spiraling the hair around. So it was kind of difficult to pull that through, but it didn't really mess them up very much. But I do eventually figure out that I have to hold the top of my hair strand, the top of the section that I'm working with, and then unravel the hair off by moving the brush. You'll see when I finally figure that out. Now that I've finished this entire bottom section, I'm going to use the Not Your Mother's Curl Talk Hard Hold Gel. I'm just going to use a very small amount and wet it down a little bit, rub it between my hands, and then gently and quickly scrunch it in. I'm not scrunching to try to encourage bounce or definition or enhancement. I'm just scrunching to try to get an even product application.
Now this is the part that's really hard for me because I don't know how people keep their bottom layers separate from the top. Maybe I should have done it like from right to left or something. I've never seen anyone do that, so there's probably a reason for that, but maybe next time.
For the top section of my hair, I'm going to do 1/2 at a time. First, smoothing on some of that AG Curl Fresh definer, and then working through in my sections to do my little brush handle spirals. And I made sure to keep my spray bottle handy so I could spray down each section as it needed. I also tried my best to not completely plaster my roots to my head, but I wasn't that successful. Totally dropped my brush on this one, but it ended up pretty much fine, so I just left it. This is where I finally figure out that I should hold the strand while I try to unravel it.
Good enough.
After I've spiraled each section, I am scrunching in a little bit more of that Curl Talk Hard Hold Gel. This gel, like most of the Curl Talk stylers, leaves my hair feeling a little bit gritty and sometimes a little bit dry. So I'm trying not to use too much of it, but I did intentionally choose this one because it gives a bit of grit to my hair, because the more grit, the more of that feeling my hair has, the less smooth and silky it is. So the easier it is for it to actually hold in a very manipulated style, like these brush handle spirals. I have a theory that some wavy hair content creators intentionally choose products like this that will give their hair a little bit of roughness or grittiness so that it will actually hold in styles better. And I'm not trying to call that out as a particularly bad thing. I just want to bring a little bit of light to it and bring up that thought in case it had never occurred to any of you, to make sure that you know that if you have a looser pattern or smoother hair like mine, and your hair really easily falls out of styles, you're not alone. And if you don't like that product-y feeling, you might just not be able to achieve those looks that you see on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube. Again, completely not bashing, just bringing a little bit of that Instagram versus reality thoughts to the forefront, just in case you're feeling frustrated or wondering why you can't get those heavily styled results while still having your hair feel nice and soft and actually wearable. I was actually really proud of myself for how this turned out. It definitely looked extremely wonky in the back. I couldn't get my arms back to the back of my head to style a little bit less pulled forward, but oh well.
I'm gonna go try it. We'll see.
All right, I diffused for 20 minutes and let my hair air dry the rest of the way. Some areas of my hair are pretty crunchy and others are completely soft and unraveling already. But for the most part, I pretty much still have all of my little brush spirals. So now I'm going to try to fluff it up and separate them, and we'll see how that goes. Halfway done. It feels so product-y. And these are the results. I think it looks decent. It definitely has some pretty spirals, but to me it just looks too styled and it definitely doesn't feel good. It feels very product heavy and my fingers feel pretty tacky after touching it, which I really don't like. I would rather have my hair super soft and be looser and fall out quicker. But I know that's not everyone's preference. Like I said, the reason that I did this is because I feel like some influencers really try to use products that will give them more of a product-y feel and more grit to their hair so that it can really hold in that more heavily styled style, even if it might not feel very good and might only really last decently for one day, one video, one photo shoot. And this is not a call out or a bash or anything. It's just trying to add some perspective for all of you who might not think the way that content creators think. If it felt very nice and soft and it didn't look so product heavy, I'm sure that I would love it. But the reality for my hair at least is that if I hadn't used so much product and those really strong products, then my hair wouldn't have stayed this tight in its little Denman brush spirals. It would have been too soft and it would have loosened up and I wouldn't have had this result. So it really is a toss-up and you have to kind of choose. And I, for one, will always choose the soft hair. I actually think it's really pretty. I just wish that I could get it to look like this faster, with less effort, and with less product, so it would feel soft. But that's just not gonna happen with my hair type, so the Denman brush will not be gaining a spot in my normal styling rotation. You can let me know what you thought of my hair in the comments today, but bear in mind that it does not feel very nice, despite how pretty these now separated spirals are. I definitely think it's a lot prettier on me separated than it was when it was those founding father wig curls that the Denman brush formed. They are kind of regrouping, so I have to keep separating them, but once they're separated, I do think they are really pretty. I just wish they could be soft and not sticky and tacky. There are links in the description below to the products that I used as well as my Denman brush. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss out on any of my future content. Remember to love yourself fully and faithfully, and I'll see you next time.